see. Let's get IG to go, and then we good to go. Come on. Okay, there you go. Cool. Yeah, I think you was right when you was telling me to not do the same link. I think that's what was causing a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah, because we was going through the same link, and I was using the same little studio part, and I think doing it like this is how we should have been doing it, doing a new one each time. And
Yeah, because I came in right on it. Well, once my computer picked up, it came right in, no problem.
yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like before, it wouldn't do that, but
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah. Hold on one second. Yeah, okay, okay. All right, for anybody tuning in, this is live with Brandy Yates. We discuss relationship topics, give advice, have a good time. Brandy Yates, accountability coach. It's been a while since we did this thing, but I'm excited that we back doing it, back rolling. I looked at the other lives. I wasn't watching them like that, but now I'm glad I'm watching them. It's like, okay, I know some things I could do a lot better now. I'm watching myself back and watching the replay back. Good conversations though,
Yeah.
really good stuff, like really good stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely got to, get this stuff out sometime. Like, but yeah, really good content. Just got to, get it out there. So,
Yeah.
yep. How everything been with you? You been all right?
I've been all right, doing some home improvements, tired, sore, pain, decluttering, a
Oh
bunch of
man,
stuff, but I'm all right. I'm all
you
right. Yep.
you make it through. That's what's up.
I've been kind of low key. People been like, "What's you all right?" I ain't been seeing no content. I'm like, I'm in the off season, so to speak. I'm chilling. I'm
Hmm.
decluttering my personal life first, and once I'm kind of, I feel good in that. Not that anything's going wrong, but some you just need them reset. So while I'm
Hmm.
taking the reset, I'm doing that. I'm like, all right, now when I come back, now be ready for the stuff. Don't be looking for me, because when I
Right,
come back, then you be like, oh, that's a little rough. Yeah, just soak up the old stuff that I've done so far, and then relax. I'll be back.
right. Like you say, hey, you still giving it raw and authentic. So I mean, that's you shouldn't complain with that. That's just
Yeah,
it's the truth. But
yeah, yeah,
I haven't been on TikTok. I know I need to, but I haven't been able to record, like for real. Like so, I mean, just now getting in a space where I can put some more content or record some more content and get it ready to start pushing it back on TikTok. But I've been having fun on Threads. Threads
Thread.
is a
I love threads.
love Threads, yeah.
I mean, they got some people that you might have to block sometimes, but overall, I love it. The algorithm, the amount of people it pushed to me that I never knew existed. I'm like, ooh, let me follow them too. So I love it.
Yeah, yeah. Threads is just it's just a lot of good conversation. I could probably be on Threads all day. Just different conversations and different topics, and just a lot of good discussions and things. I'm like, oh man, I want to get it. Just reading people's stories, and I feel like I get a lot of inspiration from
Yeah,
Threads for sure. But
yeah,
yeah, I haven't had to block anybody though. I
yeah.
wouldn't say that. Yeah.
I think just one person since I've been on there had to block somebody because they just kept going and kept going, and I'm like, just focus on the polls. It doesn't have to get this deep. Oh, I see y'all women that I said, yeah, I ain't. Let me go on and block you because that's not what I'm here for. I ain't got time for that. Let's go on about your business.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
But
I
I went
understand.
down his page though, and I see that's the type of thing he do, and I'm like, I was talking to my homegirl. I'm sorry, I was I was talking to my to a homegirl. I was talking to my homeboy. We about to start up some panels too, and I'm like, I'm good with doing collabs with people, but I was telling him I'm no longer in a space where I have to be understanding of how somebody is communicating when they are at a point where they're rage baiting you. I'm like, I don't have to put myself in that position in order to show like, oh, I've healed, or oh, I'm mature enough to have a conversation. No, no, we're not here long enough to keep arguing with people about the same old. I'm here for a conversation, not an argument. So I said, no, I'm not doing rage bait. Because I think the guy was like, oh, I see black women and y'all are angry, and I'm like, it didn't even start like that though. Like, you kept just going and going and going, and I'm like, gotta protect your space, man. We here for work. We here for healthy healing and good conversation. We ain't here for all that extra other stuff. So
Yeah, and it makes you question like what are you getting out of that type of back and forth. If you already got your mind made up off of literally nothing to that I'm this type of person, then what's the point of us having a back and forth? I mean, if you want to have it, if you want to be right, hey, you can have it.
hmm
I'm not finna go back and forth with you about because that ain't like you said, we're not here for that.
yeah, because then they start going on your page and like nitpicking every post. Listen. All right, just let me help you protect your peace. And I'll block you in a minute. If I gotta help you protect yours, I'll show you how to protect your peace. I'll block you.
Oh
Ain't got
man.
time.
I have experienced that where somebody go down and start trying to, I got to find something that I could argue with you about, like that's, yeah.
Man, let me know when you do. You may never, but let me know when you do. I'm like that. You know what I'm talking about now, don't you?
Right. I got you. All right. We're going to get into the first topic. Of course, all these topics come from stuff Brandy posts on threads that I'm just like, yes, let's talk about that stuff. Okay. So let me see if this will work like I wanted to. Let me see. Okay, and let me see. Put my banner up just for anybody who coming in. Um, do gender roles hurt your relationship?
Right, right. I like
So
that.
yeah, I like that post. I'm just gonna get my initial thoughts. I like that post because um, I believe that you should definitely have a role in your relationship, but I wouldn't say that the roles are as definitive as we want them to be. I feel like at a certain level, like you really define what you're gonna be doing. Like honestly, like that's my initial. When I see something like that, I think about my role in my relationship in my marriage, and how someone else might look at it like, oh no, I wouldn't do things like that. Which is, hey, that's fair. You have every right to do things however you want to do it, but don't. I think when you say like this, well, this is how everybody should do it. I think that's when they get a little bit, like I don't,
Mhm.
I don't think I agree with that portion so much. But what's your initial thoughts on that? What inspired that post?
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. What inspired it? You know me, I'm always just talking. So it wasn't even, I don't even think no inspiration. It just was, here's a thought, let's go. Because sometimes I have a bunch of stuff that's in my notes, and sometimes if I don't feel like thinking, I'll go to my notes, copy, and paste something. So I
Hmm.
don't even know if something inspired it at that time, or was it, I just did a copy and paste from my notes of
Hmm.
things I had before. But the thoughts is exactly what you said. Gender roles are okay. I think we have to realize we're moving into new eras. So we're no longer in this whole super traditional society where women can't work anymore. So you can't necessarily want a woman who's working, and most are starting businesses. So not only are we working and starting businesses, but you want us to continue the traditional role of just, take care of the kid, do the whole house, do all the cooking. That's just, it's not, we're not in that era no more. So you have to find someone who matches your era. And when I say
Mm,
era, I'm not even talking about year because some of us are in 2026, but we still want to be in the 1860s. If that works for you, that is totally fine. But the era is find somebody that's on your era of mindset. I'm the type of person with what I have going on in my life, baby. I will not create an argument over the trash. I take the trash out now. So if I'm leaving that day and the trash full, I'll take the trash. Like I don't wanna argue over that because guess what? I want him to be able to do dishes sometimes.
mm,
I want him to be able to cook sometimes. So baby, I take the trash out willingly if he don't mind cooking and cleaning too. So that's what I mean with that. It's as simple as that. Like, hey, don't let the gender roles hurt a good thing because most arguments are had over some of the smallest things. And that because when the real great big thing happen, argument, then all the smaller things come back into the picture.
mm,
Unresolved, smaller things. But that's all. That's all that was with that one.
mm, mm. So do you think that having like do you think that we have to have some version of those roles in order to function in a healthy relationship? Like should it be like where, hey, you know you're the man, you're the husband, whatever the relationship. So you need to do these things.
Mhm.
Like there's certain things that you need to do, and certain things that as woman and wife, you know, uh, I need to do. Like
Mhm.
do you feel like that? Like there's certain things may not be everything, but certain things is like
Yeah.
yeah, you got to handle that.
Yeah, like a blueprint, of course. There should always be a blueprint because the blueprint starts the foundation. So if you don't have the foundation and nobody knows which direction we going, then of course, you're gonna bump into each other and it's gonna be so much friction and it's gonna eventually fall away at the seams. So yes, I do think there needs to be defined things. But like I said, if there's an instance where okay, we both have been tired, he's been working, I've been working, I'm leaving. I say, oh, he didn't take the trash out the night before. It's stinking or whatever's going on. I'm not finna be like, I ain't taking the trash out. That's his thing to do. Baby, this is my house. I don't want to come home to a stinking house either. Now we'll talk about it later. Like, hey, I had to take that trash out. It was, X, Y, and Z. But I'm not finna be like, you're the man. You need to take that trash out. I shouldn't have to touch trash. It's like it's the I don't know. It's just the what I mean with that is like the smallest, stupidest things. Because my ex husband was the one. He was a great cooker, and he actually liked to cook. So would I argue with him about no? That's a woman's job. I'm finna go cook. You better get out, stay out of my kitchen. No, baby, go ahead and cook. Let me see where else I can, pick up the slack from, somewhere else. So
Mm.
I don't know. It's just yes, I do think there needs to be some defined things that like yes, the woman is responsible for, the man is, but you guys build that together, and then you like grow off of that, like the branch. You know what I mean? I don't have to do it like somebody else is doing it.
I agree with that. And like you said, that's something that coming into it, you have to have a discussion about and what that looks like. If we're gonna be long term in a healthy relationship, that's the conversation that we should be having. We can't just assume that well you a woman, so this is what you should be doing. Or you a man, this is what you should be doing. We all me and my boy was talking about this, last night. Like every man isn't taught the same thing.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so if you look at men and expect every man to know the same things, that's unrealistic. What I'm saying? That's not the reality that we live in, especially black men. Half
Mhm.
of us don't even have the leadership in the home to teach us whatever. But even if we do, it's not all the same.
Yeah.
You can okay, like you got some fathers that might teach you how to change a tire, and you got a father that might teach you how to hustle in the streets. Like every man isn't teaching you the exact same thing, even though they might be teaching you something. You know. Oh, you want to say something?
No, I was gonna say that's women too, though. I
Yeah.
think we have this stereotype that all women are just great at cooking and cleaning. and take care of the kids, but they not. Because if you look at society, the amount of people that talk about how women houses are nasty or how their bathrooms are nasty, or just look how she talked to her kid when they're out in public. Like, if you or just look at her maintenance with herself. If you look at people talk about how, oh, I got this plate and I crumbled it up because it wasn't good. So it's a stereotype to think that all women are just so great at cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the kids. So it's like it may be some men that are way better at cooking than women, or that are way cleaner than women. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm meaning when I'm like, define the roles. This is a woman role, that's a man role, but then learn each other's strengths and weaknesses, and then you build from there. Because, like I said, if I'm saying I'm a horrible cook, baby, if my man can cook, okay, you handle the cooking, I do the trash, I do what else, what other manly one I can handle with the strength I got, I do that. So it's like I don't know. Like, women aren't even taught the same. It's the general cook, clean, take care of kids, right? But how they do that is a whole different story.
Mm.
So I'm with you. I'm with you. Men ain't taught the same, but think about it. Women ain't either. Like, women argue today with each other about, oh, you don't clean your baseboards once a week. You're nasty. Who taught they? Everybody ain't teaching their kid to clean the baseboard once a week. So it's like, it's
I
the
never even
same.
heard of
Like,
that.
women ain't taught all of the same things that other women are always taught either.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I was getting at. Like, we all, to come into a situation and think that no, you should know that. I know you need to learn what they know, learn what their philosophies are. Like, some people just aren't exposed to the things you feel like are normal. Like, I happen to be exposed to men who worked on cars. So it's some stuff I know about cars that the average man might not know about cars, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But then there's things with money that I wasn't exposed to. I've had to learn how to do better with my finances. I've had to learn how to, conduct myself well with, in that area, because, I wasn't exposed to that. My people wasn't, as, educated in that area as some others might be, but it's like you got to learn what a person knows, and what, like you said, what their strengths and weaknesses are. I'm so glad you said that, because everybody ain't, you can't act like, a person isn't being a man or isn't being a woman because they just don't do that thing.
Exactly. I like how you said that.
Yeah. So if I have generations of, you know, men who didn't work on cars, but they were athletes, okay, they gonna know how to shoot a ball, catch a ball, do all that, but they ain't gonna know how to change no tire. I mean, it's you have to learn what a person actually, is coming to the table with, but don't take away from
Hmm.
them if they don't have it. It's not an identity thing, you know.
Oh, I like that you said. Oh, I like that the identity thing, because I get so tired of the real man and real woman conversation.
Yeah,
It's like, if this man don't know how to change a tire, or whatever with the car, but he got the money to pay somebody to do it for y'all, that's still a real man. I'm just like, nah, real men should know how to. I'm like, oh my God. We got these days, we got insurance now. We got roadside insurance. Why would I make him get out there and change a tire or whatever the case going on? We got the roadside insurance. Like, we pay for it. So you don't have to get out there and do that just to prove to me you a real man if we pay for doggone roadside insurance. We could spend that time, if we're together, we could spend that time making it an intimate moment, just talking, laughing, reflecting while we waiting for the dang on people to come get the tire change. Like, make better use of our time. It's just, we live so fast. It's like we gotta find moments where, as in your words, we're not tearing each other's identity down because we want them to be a certain type of woman or man.
exactly. That's perfectly said right there. And look, that is still a real man. If he can call the, get the tow truck pay and you ain't got to do nothing. I mean, he's still handling business. I
Exactly.
never forget the first time I had to change my wife's tire when we were together, and I couldn't get the tire off. Like, but for some reason, like, whoever had put her tie, like when she got her car, they had tightened her, her lug nuts real bad, and I could not even budge them. So I felt like a failure as a man because I'm like,
Oh,
I didn't know I can change a tire. I know I'm strong enough to get some lug nuts off. So we had to call the tow truck guy, and I remember when he came, he was like, "Don't feel bad, man. Like most people can't get this thing off. I got a special tool to get it off." I still was just like, "Man, like what? Like what's
mhm.
wrong with me?" Man, like I felt so defeated, but I had to forgive myself because I'm like, well, if he say most people can't get it off, I'll take that, whatever. It ain't
Mhm.
nothing, ain't nothing against me personally, but.
Right.
And my wife wasn't tripping, she was just like, it's all good. Just call the truck truck man. What you tripping about? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you taking it such to heart?
So with that being said, do you think too many of us and I think this still going along the sides of gender roles, but do you think a lot of us we actually tie our worth to the roles?
Oh man, that's a good question. I believe some of us do. I believe some of us do because I feel like if I didn't have that mentality to where it's like, that don't define me as a man. Some men do define that as them as a man. Some men define, watching football on Sunday as being a man. You know what I'm saying? Having a beer, you know what I'm saying? Like some people do feel like that is who I am. That's what a man is. That's what a man is supposed to be. And women as well. Some women, have children. Like, oh, if I have a child, I'm a woman. If a woman don't have a child, she's not a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard that where it's like
Yep.
I still feel like that should define you as a woman or define you as a man. But I feel like some people do have that mentality where if you're not, and I don't even feel like that's totally wrong because some things I do feel like makes you a man. Like or at least I would say a father. You taking care of your kids. You being a parent. I feel like you're a father if you do that. I feel like you just uh, impregnating somebody don't make you a father. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's something, to me, it's some specifics to that.
Mhm.
And being responsible for people around you, I feel like makes you a man. Man, being accountable for who you are and your decisions, I feel like that does make you a man. But watching the game, I don't look. I miss 1,000 of them. I don't care. If
Yeah.
that's supposed to take away my manhood, it's gone. Because I'm, if I'm not interested in it, I ain't finna mess with it. It's simple as that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's let me see. Yeah, I feel like do you have any experiences with gender roles where you were maybe expected to do a woman thing, and you just like, hey, that's not who I am exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever like had an experience with that?
So I don't have experience as far as actually being in a relationship with that. I have experience with people trying to request that before we are in a relationship. And I'm like,
Mm,
mm, yeah, nah. You're not gonna just come like because I'm in a flow. Like you can ask me, do I like cooking every day? And I can tell you yes or no, but you're not gonna be like, well, if you my woman, you gonna have to cook every day. Well, don't worry about it, sweetheart. I won't be your woman because I ain't cooking every day. So I've had that type of experience, but like actually being in a relationship with somebody, like doing the gender role or having issues with it, no, I haven't.
right. But somebody was getting a little ahead of themselves with the.
They do a lot, and I get it. A lot of people come to others with their experience, so I
Mm,
get it. Like this is what you want, your woman to do, and you've never had that or whatever the case, and that's okay. That's cool. But I think the approach on it is not like that's not how you approach people on a dating scene or a talking scene. Because a lot of us ain't even reaching dating. Like it's just bad before it even gets to date. Well, at least with me, because some of the stuff I'm like, if I'm seeing this now, it ain't gonna get better if we did start dating. I'm just gonna save the us both of us the headache.
oh man, I can only imagine. I mean, I feel like that's a general consensus at this point. It's just like it's real bad. I feel like it still gets good I've still seen it get good, but I feel like it's bad, and then it's just you got that one. You got that one that ain't like everybody else. But
I, I think for me, the reason, so I can say it's bad without internalizing that it's bad, or not, or feeling like I don't have any hope. I can say it just from observation. But I think for me, because I don't go in just like going with the flow of like just wanting somebody, so I just be with anybody. I think because I don't do that, I don't have a lot of the super bad experiences that a lot of people have and are
mm,
talking about. But I think a lot of people, granted, it is bad out here, but it's good too. It's just, I think too, when people don't match, they label it bad, but nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really happened
mm,
to where it's bad. But because
mm.
you didn't get your way, now you over here posting, adding on to the bad water that's out here in the dating pool. So you got to take a lot of that stuff with a grain of salt anyway.
I that fires me up when I see that because I read people's posts about their dating experience and I just be looking like no, yeah, it just wasn't a match. Like you act like this person was the worst person in the world because they chose to do some things that you didn't like.
Hmm.
Like I mean, that's most of the people who are you're meeting on the scene. They're not going to do everything that you like at all. They're not. You're not even going to date the same way that you want them to date, which is a
Exactly.
whole entirely different thing. But like people just they're just not a match for you. And I feel like if you leave it at that, hey, they just ain't a match for me. You won't, like you said, internalize
Hmm.
stuff going a certain way.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, it's just not a match.
Yeah.
And to
Exactly.
me, to me, getting to that space is a great space. Just where you just like, you know what? Hey, you can live your life however you want to, but we just not a match. So let's keep it moving.
Exactly. Yeah. I
Moving.
don't know. It's like I said, I read stuff and then I scroll past a lot because I'm just like, I almost bet that's not what it is. It's just people just, you can say whatever you want on social media. And like I said, if people talk about, oh, they wasted my time. How? They got to know you, they didn't want you, or whatever the case. Like, that ain't a waste of time. I mean, that's what it is when you're out there. You're going to be putting in time no matter what, trying to
Yeah.
find who, aligns. So, yeah, it's all in perspective.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody out there dating. Okay, it's crazy. All right, we're gonna move on. Did you have anything else to add to the gender roles?
Mm-mm.
That's good. Okay, that's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so hold on one second. Let me see if this. I think this one messed up. Let me see. And it made me want to talk about that. So initially, my hold on, let me put my banner up there. Initially, my feelings about people, supporting you when you're in a relationship. And I've seen posts where people talk about how you shouldn't abandon your friends, when you get in a relationship, and I agree with that. I agree. I don't feel like you should abandon your friend, but I feel like you do have to put some time into this thing, and I feel like you should respect your home. I've always respect my homies when they meet a girl
Mhm.
and they gotta go, and I might not see you for a minute, and okay, like that's I respect that, and but I feel like if I'm on this positive, healthy journey with this person, and you're my friend, I feel like you should be helping me along that journey even if you don't necessarily agree with that, because none of us pick the person our friends want to. Nobody that my boys have married. I was like, I knew you was going. I knew she was the one. Like, None of them. I'm surprised. Like, oh, okay, I mean, to me, I ain't no matchmaker, so I don't know how that, I don't even get into that. But once you decide that, you have my full support as a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna be doing stuff, and but if your lifestyle is a little bit different from mine, I feel like you know that shouldn't you shouldn't bring that on me and try to make me do the things that you're doing. No, I want a healthy relationship. I want to be in a committed relationship. That's what I want. So like we should respect each other in that way. So yeah, that's my initial thoughts on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's I think it's so many is various caveats to this. Because my stat now that one I know that was 7 days ago. That one stemmed I know from seeing um even just experiencing it. Like I've been around friends of friends, and I'm like, I see why they say don't have single friends.
Mm.
But then get this. It was people who also was in relationships that was encouraging crazy behavior. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, so that's why I made it general. I didn't say single or whatever. I just said your real friends. Because some of them married friends or people in relationship friends also be kind of trash and encouraging, bad behavior. But your real friends aren't going to encourage crazy behavior. They're not going to encourage behavior where you are dishonoring your relationship. So those ones who do encourage that, it again, being someone one who's single, divorced, it does kind of hurt my feelings when I see that. Hey, you shouldn't have single friends. It does hurt my feelings when I see that because I'm not that type of single friend. But when I look at society, I'm like, I absolutely understand why they say that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things too. I've had a situation where I had someone do that. Like they pretty much abandoned me once they got in a relationship because their person felt like they should only be with people who are in relationships. Now, granted,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to honor that and understand it, but then it got to the point where I said no because I matter too. Because what happened was they were doing things with people who were married or in a relationship, but when it came to needing advice, you came to this single friend. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, baby, no. If I'm not good enough to hang with or have around, I'm not enough for advice either.
Mm-hmm.
But this person know, like most people know, I don't pick sides. I don't take women's side over men's side. I'm not biased against men. So they know if I'm gonna say something, I'm really gonna tell you if you tripping too. So they do come to me for that, for advice. But again, if you abandon me, I'm not good enough to be a friend on any other level, but I'm a good enough for advice. You can go on about your business because that's not what I'm not going to be a placeholder.
Oh man.
Because I had people telling me I did talk to a few other people about it because it really got to me. And they were like, well, just be there for when she needs you. But she ain't there for when I need her.
Right.
So I said, absolutely not. So it's one of those things where it's like, you do have to honor your friends' relationships. You got to understand. That's why it's good to have different groups of friends, though, because once your friend get in a relationship, you do got to honor that and give them time. You can't expect to be hanging out all the time, calling all the times of the night, or whatever it is y'all did before they was in a relationship. That's unrealistic. You can't expect that either. If you're a real friend. And so, just going back to what I was saying, like I honored that, like I knew that, but then I started noticing, like, but dang, we don't do nothing ever unless you need advice.
Mm.
But
Kind of make you feel like you using me for I'm not good enough to be in your I'm not good enough for you to make time for our relationship, but when you having troubles, you coming to me. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like, yeah. And I don't feel like that's how it should be at all.
Mhm.
Like, majority of my friends are married or in serious relationships, but one of my best friends is single out here. I'm trying to get him together. Uh, my dog, but
He in the same pool as me. Tell him I feel him. I feel him.
I look. I don't want to. I don't want to tell him that because um, No, but he's a good guy, and he's never ever made me feel like you know he wants a relationship, so he's not like living a bachelor life. He just
Yeah.
haven't met the right person, but he's never made me feel like you tripping living your married life. He honors my married life. He honors the fact I'm trying to do the right things, and he's never made me feel like bro, you need to come out. You need to come back outside. You know what I'm saying? Like he's never made me feel like that at all. And I don't try to make him feel like you have to be married, bro.
Hmm.
I don't one thing I enjoy people who get together, but I don't try to push it on nobody. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like if that's what you want to do, I respect it. But if that ain't what you want to do, I respect that too. You know? Um, but it's like, I feel like if we have a real friendship, you know, that portion of it shouldn't move neither one of us on either side. You know, like you should be able to respect, how I want to live my life, and I should be able to respect how you want to live your life as well. But if
Yeah.
if you need advice, if you need stuff, like I'll always be there. But he's never encouraged me to do nothing crazy. If I did do something crazy, I'm pretty sure he would be like, "Bro, you tripping?
Hmm.
Go back home, man." You know what I'm saying? Like, go on back home. But
This go back to one of our lives we did. I forgot what the question was, but it's one of those things where it's like we should be able to. I think it was some with "Do you trust your partner?" And I think it was like the woman was like, "Well, I trust you, but I don't trust them." And I was like,
oh yeah,
"You don't
yeah,
trust your partner," because it's
yeah,
one of those things where it's like with this scenario, if you're in a relationship and you have single friends, your partner has to trust that you are strong enough to know, like, hey, either we gonna continue this friendship or we're not, or if the single friend is encouraging you to do some, your partner has to trust that you know how to shut that down. Because it's kind of hard. It's like we want to control our partner so bad to where they're doing everything that we want them to do for us to be safe. And it's like that's just not how that works. You have to pick somebody. That's why the vetting process is important. You got to pick somebody who, if danger comes, however it comes, if temptation comes, however it comes, your partner knows how to shut it down.
yeah,
So it's like I don't you do got to look at people and see what type of friends they are, hanging with or whatever. But at the same time, it's like everybody is an individual. Like you said, you're not going to force him, even though he wants to be in a relationship, you're not going to force him constantly, like, hey, come over this side, come over this side. And then he not doing the same, like, man, come over to the single life. Like those are the type of people that you need around. Because let's be real, there's pros and cons to both sides of it.
yeah, for sure.
Because people are like, hey, get married, relationship. Yeah, but you also know that now it's the other person and probably kids that you got to consider now, right? You got to rearrange your life. You do know that, right? So it's like, it's pros and cons to both sides. It's not, the goal isn't the certain title, but the goal is to have yourself ready for whichever side of that fence you
Mm,
want to be on. Because I like how you said he's not a bachelor either. He's not living like the bachelor lifestyle. You don't have to be single and loose. Like, it's a women be telling me all the time. Like, I had women lately now because this society, the society we in, asking me, do I like women? I'm like, why? Because we don't see you really with too much men. Because I don't post about the men that I'm with. Not only that, I don't give all the men the time of the day. Just because I'm single don't mean I have to always have a man in my face
right.
or my space. Like, so I'm like, I absolutely don't like women romantically. I absolutely like men. However, what does my personal life on the relational side got to do with yours? Because you picking a whole bunch of them. Both you picking men and women, and you ain't got it right with either one. So focus on your. It just be like I like the whole y'all don't force each other to like trying to be on the side that the other is on. So I like that.
Yeah, because like you said, just having somebody that ain't the goal. Like just one this somebody that had, just so you can say you got somebody. That ain't ever to go. I'd rather be alone than just have a body.
Mhm.
So you shouldn't be looking at people like they should have a person around you just for the sake of the fact you're single. You know,
Yeah.
but I like, some people do, feel like they gotta, show the world that they out here. But I'm not. I don't. Why do I need to take pictures with everybody I'm dating and put it online? Like I just don't understand that. Even though I do, I did have some pictures online. When I was dating, I did, but I wasn't taking them. I wouldn't put them
Nah,
online.
yeah, I remember that story. But again, that's the thing. Like you want your life kind of private. I mean, whether you care it or not, you just like for me, I would have to tell people, don't we're not together. Don't post me. Why is you doing that?
Yeah.
And to me that's a red flag because to me you trying to make somebody mad. That's what I automatically trying to
Oh man, I
look
didn't
at.
think about
You
that.
trying to
Yeah.
show that you moved on. So you trying to make somebody mad, or you trying to show your homeboys, yeah, I got one, or something. I don't know. But either way, this ain't this. Like, don't do that. We're not together. Do not post anything about me. Keep that
That's
private.
that's how naive I was. I never even thought about that. Never even thought like this is strategic. You posted me because you told old boy you was over it, and you got to show him that it's really over, like that type of time. It's like
Yep. Hmm.
I never thought about that. But like I said, I didn't care at the time. I'm like, you can post me all you want. This is over next month. So you can post me all you can put me on there all you want to. That doesn't make us be any more compatible than we are. So I
That's
mean, whatever
funny.
you want to do. I mean, but I definitely was very naive, not even thinking about the strategy
Yeah.
wise of you because people do be on that. It's
They
like
do. And then don't tie me to you. I don't need that. If they see me with you, it's because they see us out in public. But I don't need people being like, dang, she was just with this person a month ago. Now she with another person. No, I wasn't with either one of them.
right.
But that's what dating is. And then people tie it to everybody you're posting. You're obviously got to be sleeping with. So that was
Ooh,
another thing. Like, bro,
yeah.
we ain't sleeping together either. Don't post me, because they gonna automatically tie that to the real person I might be with or want to be with might be seeing that. Don't do that.
Ooh, that's a whole nother level to it. You about
Sure.
to mess up what I got with the next person.
Yeah, because I know this over for like this ain't going for. So no, sir, don't do that.
Oh, now that part, I think I was more aware of that part. Dating the whole time, I'm like, I don't certain things. It's like I can't do that because the next person. I'm always thinking about like, okay, not even the next person, the person I want to end up with.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't want you to think that we didn't did a bunch of stuff because this could be somebody you semi cool with. You know what
exactly,
I'm saying? Like, it's the friend of your friend.
exactly.
If it's too deep, that might even get a little murky. Like it's like, man, I don't want that to. But I was always, I don't know. I wasn't thinking this deep into it a lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm just like, is this, we getting to know each other? This it? Or this ain't it? All right, let me move on. Like, that type of thing. But it
Yeah.
is some strategies out there that people be on that,
Hey, you
you got
gotta
to
be
be,
careful. Hey, don't leave your blueprint everywhere because that's what it be, boy.
yeah, yeah. That
And
now a lot more than like ever for real. Like,
yeah, and
yeah.
this generation so overly sexualized. You post up with somebody, they gonna say y'all having sex, even if y'all not. I'm like, nah, bro. I done
Yeah.
had so many women approach me off of seeing me with somebody or a picture, and I'm like, that's literally just a homeboy. Like, ain't ever went that way. And I'm like, oh my god, y'all put everybody together.
Look, but you don't even know what he could have said. Some dudes, that girls be like, "Well, who is that?" You ain't got to worry about that. What I'm saying? Be real vague. Like
And that's true, but I don't know because some of these women be like, oh, he said you a friend, but men lie.
well, yeah, that too, for sure.
Okay, well, why you with him? Like, I don't know. That's mm.
After
Anyway,
the whole
don't
thing,
post me. Friendship, homeboy, just passing by. No, none of that.
well, like you said, why if you do feel like it's that, why y'all still together then? Why y'all still going?
Control. Control. People want to again. I trust I or or it be like well, I ain't got nothing against you. This is what women to do to other women. Well, I ain't got nothing against you. I'm just asking. Well, what for? That he your man, not me. We ain't got no dealings. What you asking me for?
Right,
Whatever he said, it is. But he a liar. Okay, well, you got bigger problems to think about then, because I ain't gonna be the only one that you questioning, and I'm sure I ain't the only one that you have questioned. You know,
right.
let it go. That you got deeper problems than just asking me.
That part
So
for sure. Man, that's just crazy. That's crazy even to even think about. Because I have homegirls. I have people I'm close with of the opposite sex. I've never had a problem with platonic friends, but I've never had an issue where my woman thought I was doing something with one of my homegirls. Like
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
not. We if you see us interact, you see it ain't none of that. And I'm gonna introduce you too.
yeah. I
So
did
I mean,
I did a post before, um, and I said if me and you talking and your platonic friends coming to me as a woman, bro, you out of there.
yeah,
Cause ain't none of my platonic male friends finna come to nobody as a man, because I don't even that ain't even what that is. I make sure I keep those lines clear. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I don't do anything where there that will happen. I had one guy was that I was talking to. We ain't talking no more, but he was saying like he's had platonic friends where they would just lay up in the bed together. Bro, I don't lay in the
Oh,
bed with my platonic friends.
oh no,
And he
there's
was like,
no way.
well, nah, we ain't never did nothing. We just was chilling, bruh. You 40, I'm 38. You think I'm finna be okay with somebody of that age being okay? Like it's not a problem with laying in the bed with your platonic friends. Heck no. So
There's no.
that's why I'm like, nah, y'all be doing too much with these platonic friends. And
That's
and
not. That
again,
ain't
that
platonic
be
friend. Straight up.
like, what? You really said he said it rolled off the tongue like it was normal though. I'm like, oh yeah, you wouldn't be somebody I trust. Mm-mm. I don't
Yeah,
need no platonic friends coming to me as a woman. Ain't doing it. Mm-mm.
yeah. That's because first of all, why am I laid up with my? Why is we laid up? What's the scenario that would make us be laid up?
I
You
ain't
know,
never said I was lonely enough to want to lay with a platonic friend. No.
nah,
That's
ain't.
why would you even
Yeah,
put yourself in that temptation?
that's not even an option though. Like that's not, why would we lay up?
Exactly. What's the
You know what I'm
logic?
saying? Like why would we lay up? Homies don't lay up. Yeah, that's just
Well, look,
do
back
that.
to back to the title. Real friends don't encourage you to do crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's not, and me and my platonic friends have been single at the same time, alone, but that was never like a, you know, let's just cuddle and see what, as homies. That's romantic stuff. I can't I would never in my life, I look at you crazy if you even ask me that.
Exactly.
Like there's no way if we finna be laid up at
Exactly.
all. Like
Absolutely not.
there's no way. Yeah, I do that with people who I'm romantically,
Exactly.
involved with. I don't do that with no homegirls. Like that's
Yeah. And
he.
and see, it be stories like that why I be saying like, man, it hurt my feelings as a single person to see people say, hey, I don't trust, a person to have a single friend, or hey, I don't trust you to have a platonic friend. It's like it hurt my feelings to hear that, because I know what type of friend I am. But realistically, I know, hey, it's jacked up out here. So I understand,
Yeah,
why people wouldn't want you to be platonic with a friend when you're in a relationship, or having single friends when you're in a relationship. So I get
yeah,
it.
yeah. Because a lot of people out here playing that game, and like you can't always trust that, but you know, like you said, I understand it. I definitely understand it, but you gotta know the person who you with, and know, is this person would they? do something if they homie ask them to do it. Like would they go like that? Like there's no relationship that would make me change who I am and what I stand for. So I can't be influenced by my homies to do something just because they're single and doing it. I can't be
And
influenced by my platonic friend to cross a line that I don't even want to cross. So
remember one of our panels when I was like, shoot, people be knowing that they partner a goer.
I go where
They be knowing, man. They
I
get
go.
out of here. Y'all be knowing. Y'all be with people that be goers.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that was that same one we was talking about. Can you trust your partner?
what? It
I
probably
think that was the
was.
same.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to look back on that one because yeah, you definitely know 'cause that's why you don't want them to be in those scenarios because you know what's happening. Like you already know,
Mhm,
but you got to know who you. I mean, but if you know that, if you already know that, then don't get mad at when it happened. If you already know it was gonna happen,
mhm.
you should have expected it
Yeah.
at that point. You
I
should
like
get cheated on. I think that's what that was. You
I
should get cheated on.
but I like, yeah, and I feel like maybe it was the same one, but because we didn't talk about so much, so and they kind
Yeah.
of like blend with each other. So, but and that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. I feel like when people come and say certain things, and I'm like, why are you surprised? Like you said you've been dealing with X, Y, and Z for however long. Why are you angry? Because you saw the signs, you saw they were capable more than once, and then now that if they followed through, you're mad. You're
Mm,
mad at the other person because the person was like, "Well, people should respect your relationship." Well, the person in the relationship should do more of the respecting. Nobody should think they got a one up on your partner. So you mad at the other person, but you finna stay with the one who let the guard down. Like that doesn't make sense. But
mm.
but whatever.
That's so true. Like if anybody's gonna respect it, it's the person actually involved should respect it more than anybody. Even if you don't respect my relationship, the only way you gonna get to disrespect it is if I allow that.
That part.
I allow you to disrespect
That
it.
part.
The only way. Okay, it don't
Yeah.
matter it don't matter who coming on to you.
Yeah.
You gotta go in the house. It don't matter who opened the door. You gotta go in.
Yeah.
Like once you go in, you've made a decision. That's it.
Because you ain't gonna be able to ward off everybody now. Come on. You're gonna get tired and old. Like, come on now. At this point, pick a different partner because you can't fight off everybody.
Yeah, you can't fight off everybody. Yeah, yeah. I've had homies with girls like that where they fighting everybody. Okay, they fighting everybody.
Oh
Like
my
I'm like,
God.
no, you,
It
you
happens. No, I
yeah,
do. That is one reason why I said if your platonic friend, because people will be they'll be together, then they be exes, and now they're friends. Listen, if your platonic friend comes to me as a woman, I have nothing for you. It is over. There is no conversation to be had. Because I actually when I did that post, I think I had people saying like, but what if the girl is lying? Listen, she could be lying. But what I'm saying is I live a lifestyle to where I make sure it's cut and dry. Nobody will be coming to you as anything on behalf of me. So for me, if somebody feels like they can do that, you still have some type of doors open. You still have some type of argument going, some type of access. There's still something there.
yeah.
And because I don't have that here, I'm not going to accept somebody that got that going on. I don't want the drama. No. So
That's
sorry. Catch
true.
the next
Yeah.
ship.
He say even if they are lying, why would they even make that up
Yes.
in the first place? If why would you even start to lie about something like that? Y'all got too much going on then.
It's something still attached. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
some access still there.
your platonic friend don't need to come up and create a lie for your new. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what a platonic friend does. Like
Bingo.
that's not what
Bingo.
platonic friends do at all. Like my
That,
homegirl, look, me and her
that's some
boyfriend,
platonic friends that's been cuddling.
they've been cuddling. They've been cuddling.
Baby, ain't finna play with it.
I
Mm-mm.
did. That ain't a platonic friend. That's not stuff platonic friends do. That could be a whole lie by itself. What is a platonic friend for real. You know what I'm
Man.
saying? Like, what does platonic friendship look like? No, no cuddling, no romantic stuff,
Mm-mm.
no dates.
Shoot, stop.
Okay, like
Shoot, ain't even no hugs. If it's a hug, you better do church hug. Like we don't play all that. Like no. If it's platonic, keep it that. Like don't have no blurred lines. Like it's that simple. Stop blurring the lines.
now hold on. I hug my platonic friend.
Hey,
It ain't
hey,
that. It
is it
ain't
a
no.
church hug
It's a
or
hug.
is it a hold hug?
It's a cousin hug. What up? What up, baby? You know,
Okay, but
like
it ain't a hold like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 second type hold, right? It's just like a hey, how you doing? And then you know.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's a church hug.
Wait a minute. So you count to five and then you let
No,
it
it
go?
ain't no hold and y'all breathe a little bit together and then let go. It ain't that. Look, now we gotta define hugs now.
I gotta get my homegirl on here because this we gotta figure. Cause we used to hug each other and cry. That's what we used to do. We used to hug each other and cry. But it wasn't like a man. I
Did
just
y'all do a little rock with it, like
it was
hugging?
like more. It was playful. It wasn't that. Now that I'm replaying it in my head, but
Yeah, I know what you're saying though. Like you know what I mean.
now we can't
It's
hug. That's
yeah,
crazy.
ain't no Philly touchy Philly. We hug and your hand just accidentally slide down the bottom. We ain't none of
There's
that.
none of that.
You know
That is not a platonic friendship. No
exactly. That's what I'm
way.
saying.
Oh
They
my
be hugging. That hand dripped on down the back a little bit longer.
There's
Like no,
I would
I
feel
saw
weird.
that. What was
That
that?
would feel so weird to even think about doing. Like,
But
'cause
that's how you know they ain't platonic. That's how and
yeah,
that's what I be saying when I made the post. I'm like, no, because it's certain lines. I was being a little extra with the church hug, but because I'm short. So look, let me just say, because I'm short. So like a lot of my male friends are taller. So I'll do a two hug, around, but it's quick. It ain't nothing like crazy. So
it's
I was just being dramatic with the church hug. But it's like you could tell like a certain gestures with platonic versus if okay, y'all say y'all platonic, but that right there kind of
yeah.
like you almost kissed their neck. You sure y'all so uh okay, let me stop.
That's
I'm being dramatic.
insane. That's insane.
I'm being dramatic. Okay, I'll stop.
I do want to say something about that. I do want to say, when you meeting a person, you know, you got to decide. I know one thing that's helped me. I'm deciding up front is this if this has the potential to be something or not. You know what I'm saying? Like if I feel like I want more, then we're not going to be platonic friends. You know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying? Like there's I have to decide it immediately.
Thank you.
Does this have the potential for more? So no, we can't be platonic friends
Mhm.
if that's going to be that. Like because I already know I'm not finna be sitting here secretly liking a person. I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? Like I never believed in you know you befriend a person, you got this huge crush on them, you in love with them, and then they have no clue, and then one day you just like, hey, can we be together? Like, no, like I just feel
Well,
like that's what.
so this off well, it's off subject from the initial question you asked, but it's
Yeah.
on subject to what you just said.
Uh,
Um, I've seen a guy was kind of upset that he was still getting friend zoned, but but he's a great guy, so the woman would like if she needed anything, she would come back to him as the friend. And I told him, I said, first of all, why are you letting yourself get friend zoned? You can only get friend zoned if you actually have an intimate or romantic desire for someone. That's the only way something is considered friend zoned. I
mhm.
said, if I'm not ever being friend zoned, either we just gonna be platonic friends from jump, or I'm out. I'm not sitting here watching you love on other people and be with other people, and I'm over here waiting my chance. That ain't finna happen. I'm never letting nobody friend zone me. My initial is to be with you, learn how to be with you, and if that ain't what you on, ain't the type of time you on, I'm out. Because I did that once in my life. When I tell you went through, I won't do it again. Let me just say that. It was horrible
Yeah,
having to play a friend role, knowing that you wanted more with that person. It's okay if they friend zone you. Walk on out the door. Use the window, use the ladder, jump on the roof, wherever you got to do to exit, use it and exit. Don't let nobody friend zone you.
Yep.
You got just as much power as them. But the thing is, people stay in the friend zone because they don't want to show that they're offended by being rejected,
Mm,
or they hope that one day them doors will open.
mm, yeah.
Don't let nobody friend zone you.
No, I think, I like that you said that, like, you can't let it happen. If you really want that with that person, you need to, make that a known thing, but I feel like there's so many nuances to this. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, it's because you have two people that might friend zone each other because they both don't know how to make the move. You know what I'm saying? Like, they both
So
don't know how to
then,
cross that line.
so in that case, yeah, okay. So then, in that case, what's what? Like,
Like, she like him, he like her, but they both pretending to be friends. They both really want to be more than friends.
are they dating other people though?
No,
Or are they on a single journey, like just on a I'm working on me journey?
they single, but they friends.
Mm-hmm.
They actually like each other, but
Mm-hmm.
can't seem to cross the line romantically. Nobody want to make the first move to cross that line.
I I kind of think that's okay.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think the friend zone part is you rejected me. Now, mind you, the conversation was had, but you rejected me, and then I get to watch you be with other people, and then you come back to me when they hurt your feelings, or your tire, you need to change tire. I do it, so you call me instead of the dude that you chose over me. Nah. You friend
Mm,
zoned me, gone about your business. Like, ain't
mm. There it
you know,
is.
ah, yeah,
Yeah. See that? Yeah, and that's like I said. That's I feel like that's you basically torturing yourself. In hopes that can cross the line somehow. But
mhm,
to me, you got to get it out the way up front.
yeah,
You got to get it out the way.
yeah,
Like, it's only one person. Like I said, my ex, um, who we were friends, and I was like, oh, I think I made a mistake. I got to cross the line. Yeah, I got
uh,
to cross the line. But it wasn't. We was new friends. But I feel like at first I was like, this ain't. I don't think this is nothing. And then, a few more weeks passed. I was like, oh, I think I'm in love with this girl. All right, let me go ahead.
uh,
Let me go ahead and get this going. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I had to cross. That's the only time I like, okay, I made the mistake.
mhm,
No, we can't. Let me not act like this ain't nothing.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I didn't sit there like pretending it wasn't nothing in hopes that it became more. You
yeah,
know, I just didn't know her well enough to know, like, oh, we got, this like somebody I got a connection with, that type of
right.
thing. But once I did, oh, it was instantly, hey, I'm crossing the line.
Yeah, and
Okay,
and that's
yeah,
different. You know what I mean? Like that's not friend zoning, type
yeah,
thing, or a thing of like, we like each other, but we don't know if we should, because we don't want to mess up the friendship. Because the thing is too, we also tell people, hey, be friends first. So,
yeah.
you're right. There is a caveat, to these type of situations, but I'm talking about the pure some devil piece of her or something. It's like it's the whole though. I threw myself out there to you. I
Mm,
shot my shot, and then you rejected it, like
okay,
directly rejected it. So
right,
it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now I'm gonna step back, but that what was going on before ain't finna happen like it used to though. Because I done told you I have these feelings. Like this is where I want to go. You
yeah,
say that's not where you at, and you don't think so. Then okay, now I got to change the trajectory of what we had. I don't necessarily have to cut you off, but now I got to change a step out of that. You can't keep going though. Like we just gonna continue on the same way.
yeah.
Like
That's
you done
that's that
friends on
torture.
me.
Yeah, that's that torture right there. Yeah, I gotta if we have the conversation and then the feelings aren't mutual, I'm stepping all the way away. Okay, it ain't we ain't finna be kicking it and hanging and
Yeah, that part.
there's no way.
I'm
There's no way.
saying for real. Like we gotta stop. We gotta stop torturing. Like I said, and that guy he was like, oh, then y'all go and y'all get with these men, and then they hurt y'all, and then y'all come back to me. Well, first of all, bro, you shouldn't even let the door open for them to come back. Secondly, let go. So what if they went and got hurt? That should not internally affect you. You should have cut that off when they rejected you from the beginning. Let it go.
Exactly. Why are you waiting around? Like once we've had that conversation and it's not mutual, it's done forever for me.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
no circling back, nothing.
Yep.
Like no, if you don't feel the same way, this is a lesson for people who dating mutualism. It has to be mutual. If you don't feel the same way, then let me keep it moving.
Exactly.
Okay, why would and it is not that have situations where okay we can't cross this line because I'm going away for college or I'm moving to another state or I'm going to the army or something like that. It's like okay, it was a, a circumstance of location. I like you, I would get with you, but I got this other career move or other
Right.
thing going on. Okay, that to me, I can understand that.
Right. Right.
But
Yep.
ain't nothing going on. You just ain't feeling me. It is dead. There's no other. There's
Yeah.
no. That's it.
We in the same city, still hanging at the same places. Ain't
Right.
ain't. Mm-mm.
It's
So
it's
yeah.
yeah. That could have been a whole thing by itself. Just that. You know what I'm saying? But look, we didn't hit an hour. I think my Instagram cut off on me.
Oh dang.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. It's got me on an alert. Hold on, real quick. Let me see. The connection was disconnected. I don't know
Dang.
how. Yeah, maybe it was too long. Can you not do more than an hour on Instagram or?
I didn't. I think you can. I don't know. Honestly, I don't go live on there a lot, but I wouldn't.
Yeah. I feel like we've
I
done
wouldn't
more than an hour before, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that did that, but this is a great discussion. Great to be back doing stuff with Brandy Yates. You know what I'm saying? Good time. This is therapeutic for me. Let me tell you
Yeah.
to get it out. I can't get it out online like I want to. You know,
Really? Not yet. Not yet. I think you. Well, I know what you're saying too. Like solo, right? You talking about solo? Just.
it's just I have too much to say.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to type a whole bunch of stuff, and in the videos I don't want to make the videos crazy long either.
Right.
So this format helps me flush out a lot more of what I'm feeling and
Right.
experiencing. You
Right.
know, but I feel like I'm glad that we're doing this because like I said, it does help me do that because typing it out, I said it just it ain't the same for me. Like I just
Yeah.
I try to simplify it a lot of times
I
on.
know because if it's too
uh,
long, some people ain't gonna read and yeah. So
It's
I
just
get it.
so yeah, I'm glad you was able to do this, and whoever's watching, I hope y'all got something good out of this. It's been a good time. Me and Brandy Yates back at it. You know,
Remind
uh,
me, I need to figure out because I know with StreamYard, I think you can. I want to start when we go live like this. I want to be able to see if I can connect my YouTube somehow and also stream my YouTube. So we can be
ooh,
simultaneous. I know StreamYard you can do it like if they can give you the key or something and you can actually add it to your YouTube and add you in as like a streamer and then it's also streaming live from that on StreamYard. But my I think on my app that I had Be Live, I don't think I was able to do that with them. But I know
mhm,
StreamYard do. So yeah, if you can see like if yours let you do it, then
I
let me
will.
know because I would like to also be able to connect my YouTube in too, and so people can be streaming on there,
That,
seeing us too.
that's a great idea. I'm gonna have to look into that because, like I said, they've just added a bunch of stuff. Look, I very much so probably could do it right now, and it might not have been able to do it before. But they added a lot of stuff since the last time we've been doing stuff.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna look into it and see if you can. And I'm also gonna look into. Hold on, let me end this broadcast.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for watching. Rewatch it on. I don't know if on Instagram is gonna do it now, but YouTube for sure you can get it, and Facebook you can get it on there too. But yeah, all right. Let me end this.